Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very special guest who is Heather Bryan, the founder of Jupiter and Company. Thank you so much for being on here today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your story and what you do?
Well, thanks, Ethan. I do appreciate that Clubhouse AI has had me on here, and it's been great to know you a little bit, getting to know you and how your background in golf as well comes from the assistant side, correct? And
Correct.
just the love of golf. And unlike most people who get into golf, I didn't get into it for the love of golf. I organically came into this 25 years ago with a great idea my dad had, personalizing tags for fans on site. And so for my 20s, I was kind of on the back side of it. I wasn't on the corporate side. I dealt with one-on-one on why people went to PGA Tour events, how they got their tickets, what kind of experience they wanted out of it. And when people were around us, it was 2 or 3 extra minutes of watching their name be engraved on one of our, 6 to 8 engraving stations. And we would do thousands at US Opens, Ryder Cups, World Golf Championships. And so as I kept showing up, that idea of being able to personalize guest facing was different for an industry of engraving and different of where I was coming from on golf, not just selling a shirt, getting it out there and selling the next brand. It really was, we got to meet everybody from our volunteers through the years. And so from those days, I invented my own engraving station. And we've really just been promoting that. It's grown from golf into stadiums and hotels and resorts. So I've been really grateful how organic my business has been. And I think what I do really well is pay attention and get to hear that, the fans get their tickets because one lady won them in a divorce. One lady got her tickets because, she wanted to take all of her girlfriends and they just loved playing golf and it was a birthday gift. So, from the corporate side to that side was really how I got to learn about golf and the people that play golf.
Mhm.
Um, and that's where we learned that the importance of gifting and not only to that individual fan, player, or guest, but how to make money off of that and not just let that gift sit on someone's shirt in their private club, but how to put that brand and that name on a carry-on bag that goes globally or hits pickleball or hits the Ritz-Carlton or wherever those people are going to go. How do we get that private membership brand to a big resort, gifted and branded to make that personal?
That's awesome. Now let's say I'm an assistant professional or a head professional at a club. What would you tell me is the reason that I should have you at my club?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, we do fit in a lot of pockets. We have this one kind of special thing that makes us really unique and different, which is the engraving station. For us, we make it so that it's sustainable, made out of compostable, recyclable material. We choose a diamond drag engraving because it's the healthiest for all the assistants to use. But then when we look at golf and a membership club or even a resort as a business, we look at where can you make money off of this piece of equipment. And when you're giving that to your members, which is a needed gift, every member expects to get a bag tag with their name on it, period. There's like no, that's like what they're going to get.
Right.
So being able to do that right as soon as they're, hand over their check and they get their member bag tag, their locker tag is done. Their family all has luggage tags for their next trip. So those little gifts go beyond where just the membership is. So that's one good thing. The other thing is being able to have something that's guest facing allows an assistant or a pro or anyone working there to be able to have a cool experience with a member. And that's different than here's the hats or this. That's where, the assistants get to and the teachers get to shine, the instructors, when they get those one-on-one experiences, an hour out on the tee box, you get to know who that member is and who that person working there. And that's where that barrier is brought down. And so that's one of the things with we say, give everyone a nice gift. Have them come in and say, what can I have engraved for free here? And the goal is you don't get, if you give 100 out, you don't want all 100. You just want those 30 special people and those really nice 15 people that go spend the extra revenue because that barrier is broken down. And
Right.
so looking at what your instructors do and selling clubs could be the same thing as having, a simple engraving station there.
Awesome. Yeah, like it's another opportunity for someone to come into the golf shop and be able to one get their free engraving that's kind of cool for their golf bag. I would love to have an engraving for mine as well. But then they're able to, they're in the golf shop now and they might look around, they might go buy a polo, a new putter or something like that. I think it's a great marketing strategy as well. I think that's great. And it almost adds to the customer service experience as well. Like you said, everyone that becomes a new member at a club, they expect to get their bag tag, they expect to get their customer service treatment. And especially when you're doing it in the way that you're doing it, I think it adds a great deal to the customer service of the club. I like that a lot. But now that we've kind of covered, what you are, what you do, how do you fit into the bigger role of the company and what does your day-to-day look like?
Well, right now Jupiter is growing pretty quickly, gratefully, and organically. And so I have a great team. My daily activities right now is really building our hospitality side and growing
Gotcha.
into more of, I learn it all from golf. I pay really good attention, from standing behind and doing thousands of tags, what people wanted. And, one of the things that golf needs is that foot traffic program. And so, how do you get, that guest to get into your shop to
Mhm.
buy that stuff? And so, that foot traffic guest gift kind of journey organically went into our hospitality through hotels. And so getting guests out of their hotel room and into, if it's a husband and wife at a resort and there's a golf course, how do you get that wife maybe who's not playing into the golf shop to buy an extra hat or the extra stuff? And so
Right.
that's where going to the hotels and having better conversations about ROI and foot traffic and getting her or him to a spot that's more lucrative, whether it be the golf shop, the spa, happy hour. And so having this piece of equipment, just luring them there and saying, here, it's free to add a name or an initial, whether it's golf or hospitality, has become part of my daily, preaching. And so I'm really big on that. I'm also really moving into a leadership role into sustainability in the gifting industry and how important and how easy the decisions are to make things better. And so, as a company, we don't use any plastic. We choose the diamond drag engraver. Maybe people don't think it's the best, but it is the cleanest. And when we as leaders are putting, young boutique golf assistants, whether they're young or old, you don't want to put other people in harm. And so looking at how that's being executed, where it's being executed, should be something that we as leaders are looking for to make sure that everybody's health and good choices in our work life is there.
Yeah. And how are you being more sustainable in that sense?
Well, easily. So we our production facility for our engraving station, which is Tori Larson. He's my mechanical lead engineer, and then he has a great team over there that does all training and virtual support, and we offer like a no questions asked warranty because we do ship globally. And so when we are shipping to Spain or New Zealand, if a machine does break, if someone knocks it off the counter, whether it's an assistant or a guest, We don't want somebody to get fired over it, nor do we want that to sit in that landfill forever. And so it was easy decisions for Tori to say, if we make this out of this material, that means in 7 years, this percentage is compostable. And these pieces are all come from aluminum instead because they're recyclable. And so it just gives us ease. We promote it, but it was easy decisions to just make as a company. And then just saying to our, vendors and suppliers, no more plastic. You're not allowed to put it in there. And literally, it only costs us about 1 to 2 cents more to make sure that everything is in reusable. Our leather is vegan, just little choices like that. And if we can then make, that just more knowledgeable to other companies coming up and people, it's just a matter of asking a question.
Right. I like that a lot. And you
Yeah.
had also mentioned that you're going to more to the hospitality industry now rather than just being in golf shops. What kind of approaches are you taking, and then how are you helping the hospitality industry?
Well, two totally different games completely. That's been really fun to learn. Going into different industries as a business and not just staying in one small pocket golf. It's just, again, it's just necessary, right? Like they expect to have this. These, big CEOs are walking in to go have a great experience on their own. It's the only time they're allowed to put their walls down and just go and enjoy themselves. And so we as vendors and assistants and golf professionals and general managers should, that's our goal every day, is to make them, really happy. And so that is the same in the hospitality side, going to the hotels, right? How do you make that guest the same? So that story is basically the same, and that same, feel of personalization, experience, foot traffic. It's just for us on a bigger scale. When you're looking at a giant Naples Grand Beach Resort,
Right.
Breakers Hotel, Black Desert Resort,
Right.
it's not just one little clubhouse. It's how do you get someone from way over there, all the way over there, and stopping at every aesthetically beautiful place along the way that they spend so much money and time making beautiful. And so after the pandemic, both places golf was booming and the guest experience was lacking. And so organically being able to say to the, golf guests, yeah, or just the like, staying guests, become a golf guest and vice versa. And getting that flow kind of going of a journey has been really fun to see, how far that can get going with just a gift.
Right. Yeah, and since at resorts and hotels in general, they don't have a membership like these country clubs and golf clubs where you might receive a bag tag. What kind of service are you providing them that wouldn't be like you would provide a golf course?
Well, it's also the brand, right? It's the same thing as like a private club. Like if you join the members for a Marriott certain group or something like that. And then we, as a company, we really learned, and just traveling, I just realized how many plastic key cards were out in the world. And so we as a company in hospitality with our foot traffic journey are really trying to change how people open doors and then how they flow throughout a property with a gift rather than like a plastic key card.
Gotcha. Do you have an example of that maybe?
Yeah,
Awesome.
we do. We have so it has a little key fob in here, and then it has this creates a way for them to go and create a journey to the golf shop or to the boutique to have a name or initial engraved on
Yeah.
it. And then we put a little clip on here so that it's a safety. And then we have a key ring on here, so just for long-term use. And the goal is people will bring this back, again, and when you go back to that hotel for, the third baseball game that you're going to go to as an athletic parent or
Right.
or golf, state championship, match that you have to do, things like that.
Right.
That's what our hope is. And yeah, we're really promoting that. And we are beyond a pilot program at this, stage in the game. We're
Right.
more on a mission to really make, gifting just better and make it look better, aesthetically nicer, and at the end of the day, bring a foot traffic program so that you get ROI out of that budget line.
Right. Yeah, I like it. It provides more of an experience, more of a personal touch, and it's a souvenir you get to keep as well. If I go to the Ritz-Carlton in Naples or something, I stay and I go play golf at Tiburon, and I get to take home that nice little keychain you showed me. I think I like that a lot better than a plastic card that I'm going to throw out the day after I leave. I like that a lot. I think it's amazing. Well, now that we've kind of covered what you guys do, who you are, all the things you provide. Maybe let's look into the business now and what you guys are doing and where you guys are going. So what's kind of working well for you guys right now in terms of growth and what's been not working so well?
Well, I think, one of the big things obviously is tariffs. Everybody's
Yep.
kind of talking about that. And if you are, shipping in anything,
Yeah.
as of November, our tariffs are probably going to be hit 100%, which is ridiculous. And, it's kind of unsure, right? Up until this point, my company, we provide a lot of things to our clients and our customers because of our Jupiter engraving station there all the time. It's a nice partnership. They know we're there for them. We know they're there for them when things are needed. And so we actually give and gift a lot of things to our customers. So
Mhm.
because of just budgets and people being tight on capital budgets, especially going into 2026, 2027, that's really unsure. Now we give complimentary Jupiter engraving stations. And
Right.
we're able to do that because I've had customers for 20 years. This is my second generation engraving station. So as we've had these customers, they've gone through my first one, now my second. I've had them for so long, but that's where it's needed. And personalized gifting is something that is and should be long term. So, as a shift, we give complimentary engraving stations. That includes a cart, mobile cart for them, just to make it easy. We also include all shipping. So when someone sees, a $7, $8 price, it includes shipping to their property. Everything's packaged,
Right.
sustainably reusable bags. We do all the mock-ups for complimentary for free. So it's like just like make a good choice in a partnership and
Hmm.
don't just do it by the dollar bill is what I've been saying to people right now. And if you say yes, you're in with me for the next 3 years, it's super uncertain. We do lots of fulfillment orders that are a 12-month. So every month they get a big bulk delivered there of key gifts or luggage tags, and then they can put it on the bottom of the cart,
Yeah.
saving time, energy, all that great stuff. That's a risk for a company, right? Like if I say it's going to be $4 now, November, this tariff goes up, that's me as a risk that I'm willing to take for 3 months on my customer's side, that a lot of companies don't do. And, it's all about that one-off hit. And for me as a company, I want to be in long term. People are going to change jobs and have different shifts, but that property, that membership is always going to be there. And so I feel like if you're getting an ROI on gifting, then how is this? This should be more of a partnership than a suppliership. And that is a little bit different for me in the hospitality and stadium side because it works a lot of on the procurement side. We're part of Avendra International or
Hmm.
the FF&E section of Avendra. Um, and so that's the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. And so that is like an important part of any property, obviously. So, that's just something that, I do preach, and some people don't pick us. I mean, not everybody's a yes with Jupiter, and I don't have, as many customers as maybe some of our other competitors, but competitors don't have what we have either. Under one umbrella, I have Tech by Jupiter and I have Gifting by Jupiter. And so those two things combined is what makes us really special long-term partners.
Right. I like orienting yourself as a partner rather than a vendor. That's actually what we do in our business as well. We're not there to be a vendor and, be a quick get in, grab some money and get out. We're there to build relationships. And it looks like that's what you're doing as well. I think it's the most important thing as business is building those relationships so you can create those long-term commitments and contracts, all those sort of things, as well as just enjoy your day-to-day more. It's gonna be a lot more fun going into work with people that you've made friends with and been friendly with. And it's gonna be better for them as well. They're gonna get more out of that interaction with you and out of that service with you. And I think that's amazing. I think you're doing something great there. Well, it looks like
Ethan.
you guys are doing well. Looks like the tariffs are affecting everybody. It's kind of something holding back most people in the apparel and the accessory industries. So, what are your guys' goals for the next 6 to 12 months, taking all that into account?
Taking that into account, we're going global.
Hmm.
We do ship everywhere, so we are not kind of just tied to America.
Yeah.
We really do look global. That's also something that with the hospitality has opened Jupiter up a little, not a little bit, a lot more
Hmm.
to the global world. So, when you get into like these Marriott and it's part of their golf operations, they're global. So you want to have the same experience in the Philippines as you do in America, as you do in Spain, as you do in Dubai when you're underneath a certain brand. Many brands in America are like a lot of the golf landscaping or
Right.
Troons and things like that. And Troon is global brand, but just looking at those as a company, that's really where Jupiter is going and how we can tie personalized gifting into every touch of that brand, whether it be golf, hotels, stadiums, dealerships. We're just
Right.
really lucky like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely something exciting for any business owners, expanding past what they're used to and going to a much larger audience. That's amazing. Now, as a businesswoman, what are your strategies to kind of make that happen?
Well, I joined the International Luxury Hotel Association. It obviously is global
Right.
and I've been part of that for 4 years. I'll be speaking in Prague this year as well as Las Vegas at both their conferences. Just promoting, the wonder of gifting around a hotel, the sustainability of gifting, really looking at the plastic key card as an industry. And then a lot of our resorts and golf courses are combined. And so
Yeah.
we do have a couple of, European meetings over there that will be very interesting to see the differences between European, golf run properties versus the US. I know that on the tournament side, not so much on the individual, but I do know, everyone's looking for personalized gifting. Everyone's looking for a way to get, one extra touch onto things. And so, as long as the interest is there, for us, the technology is complete and, now all of our support is, top notch. And if you don't have the support on your technology, anybody can supply a bag tag, but that's what really makes us special and what we're going to promote this year.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, what it sounds like to me is you've got everything, got all your ducks in a row, you're all ready to go, and you're just beginning those steps of actually acquiring clients globally and getting ready to start that journey. I love it. That almost wraps us up here, but I want to leave you with this. I want to ask you, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned along your journey as a businesswoman, as a founder, as a business owner that's helped you become where you are today?
Um, at the end of the day, it's I love my husband, I love my kids, and I love my life. And
Yeah.
so if you can make your entrepreneurship lifestyle, which is very difficult and stressful and as blended into your life as possible. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be left with. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not going to be on the beach, my retirement days with an engraver, sitting
Right.
there. I'm going to be the people I love and doing the things that I've over the years participated in to get really good at.
Right,
I'm a good skier. I can swim really well. I can hike 14ers. So having those kind of goals for your long term blended into something and at that that's literally the end of the day, but
right,
you have to make money. Don't
right,
borrow more than you can make.
right,
All the good things that you read about as well, but
right.
it's what you want to sit on the beach with or ski with or where you want to be like when your end result of business happens.
Right. I like it. Yeah, you gotta have a motivation behind what you're doing. It has to be a why behind the how and the what. And if there's nothing making you want to be a better person, better business owner, to make more money, there's no point in doing it. If you don't have any
Yeah.
that motivation there. I like what you said. Well,
Yeah, I do want to say too, one other important thing is the importance of learning who to say no to.
mm,
And, might feel like a regret or, if I don't take this, my business is gonna close in 3 days. Like you do get to those moments. And for me, learning how and to say no and like the JOMO, the joy of missing
mm,
out on that, like where you think you're gonna, FOMO it, you JOMO it. And like, at the end of that day, those no's is what will, not give you shingles, not give you stressed out, not have you file for bankruptcy, not
right,
have you around people that make bad decisions for you,
right.
things like that. So
Right.
it's
I like that.
important.
It's like you don't want to get in bed with the wrong person. You don't want to do business with someone that you don't think is going to be productive for you or shoot you in the right direction. Almost, you don't want to surround yourself by rotten apples. Those sorts of things. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Is there
for
anything else you want
sure.
to leave with the audience before we wrap it up today?
No, thank you, Ethan. I think it's
Of
really
course.
cool. I do appreciate that your business, like ours, likes to be in partnerships. And
Hmm.
that was one of the reasons why I did choose to be on this podcast. We do come from the different side of things in golf,
Hmm.
and I think it's really important for other people to learn and see the importance of all the different parts of golf, not
Right.
just hitting the golf ball.
Right. Yeah, it's great. The industry isn't made up just of the golf course. It's made up of everything. All the apparel companies, all of the accessory companies like yourself and the gifting. I think it's an amazing industry. Definitely a fun one to be a part of and to enjoy. Again, Heather, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ethan.
Take care.